Hi all, it's Cindy from Cindy's Art. Today we are going to paint some winter berries. In Michigan, we not only have beautiful birds in the winter, but we do have these winter berries that are covered up with snow at times. And I started off with my Holdbind paper just lightly sketching the berries. I didn't need to do much detail, but in this painting I needed to block out that white snow lump, and in order to do that I could have used a ton of masking fluid, but let me show you another way you can do that. Just get some scrap tape that you have and you can tape down the largest portions of the white where the snow is going to be, and then all I did was use masking fluid next, and I drew around the masking fluid just to finish out the outline of the berries and the snow. So I did that because I want to work on the background first and paint that in, but I needed a way for me to block that out. So this is the masking fluid. I have this jar or this little bottle, and I bought that at Cheap Joe's. You can get it online as well. And it's great because I just squirt my masking fluid out. Well, once that's done, you don't want to touch your paper. You want to let it dry. Right now, my paper dried, so you can see what my ugly tape looks like, but it is an awesome way to block out your paper. And I moved on to wet on wet, and I'm just trying to add in some shadows in the background. The background is meant to be very blurry, so I'm using a little bit of neutral, which is that dark blackish tone, and I didn't mind that for this. I don't normally use black that strong, but I always want to push myself and try something different. The red is Pyrrole red, and that'll be listed in the description for you. And then I have a little bit of like an orange in there, and it's a mix of yellow ochre and a tiny bit of permanent orange. So once I did that, this is wet on wet, this baby is wet. I took my soft brush and I smoothed it over because I don't want harsh lines. Then once I did that, I wet down my paper again because I wanted to add more shadow in there. And my goal is that the white in the snow is really going to pop. And just remember, white is not really white. White always has little blue tones, purple tones. In this painting, it'll have some red tones. So I decided I wanted it darker, and I'm just adding more color in to give it some depth and dimension right now. I'm finishing my background out. I'm going to let this dry to where it's like bone dry. Then I removed all my tape, all of my masking fluid. And right now what I'm doing is just sketching the berries a little bit more so I can remember where they are. I need their shape and definition. And I'm going to be painting in lights and darks, but I need to know where to go and where not to go. So this is one of the ways that I can do that, to remember my boundaries. And then I sketched in a little bit of branches too, and that's where I'm going to be adding black paint, so it's going to cover up really easily. I'm using my black right now to lay in some of the branches, and that'll help me know, like, where's this berry coming from at the top, and what about the berries below? Is the stick before it or after it? And so once I get some of the light laid out in my painting, in this case I did the background first, I want a little bit more definition because I'm going to be using a lot of snow in here. So I took care of some of the branches, and then now I'm going into my berries. Now the berries get beautifully vibrant and just, they look real, and that's because I'm layering colors. And Pyrrole red is a color that I use through the Christmas season. I really like it a lot. Well, another paint you can use, I mentioned Pyrrole. I buy whole binds for that. And then I tried American Journey. They have a red that's called Joe's Red Truck. Excuse me. It's like truck red, And it's so cool because it's got a beautiful blue tone, which for me, it gives a lot of depth. It looks real. And all I'm doing right now is painting around the highlight on these berries. So they look awesome, and that's because I'm painting around the highlight and I'm adding a lot of layers. So use that as a tip for when you are painting. If it doesn't quite look real yet and you want some more vibrancy in there, that's where you want to throw some more color in there. And then when those areas were done and they dried, that's when I added the tip of these berries, which have a black tone to them, and I added those in next. The very top berry, the very bottom berry, there is a little bit of masking fluid on those, just a little bit, because I wanted to protect the white snow that's on them both, and I'll take that off later. So right now, as I built up my color around those berries, I'm adding a tiny bit of neutral in there to give more shape to the berries so they look round. And now I'm using ultramarine blue deep for a touch of snow in there, and I will wet only part of the paper. I don't wet the whole thing because I don't want that blue running everywhere. And excuse me, I'll wet a little bit of the paper, I'll dab in a little bit of paint, and I'll tell you right now I'm using a little bit of neutral, a little bit of violet, and a little bit of horizon. And that reason why is I love to see different colors mixed in for the snow. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm building that up. And I keep looking, you know, at the picture, and I'm saying, where are those dark shadows? Those berries are covered in snow, so I need the snow on top to be lighter. And then where it's more underneath, I need that darker. And so I'll add some darkness in there. Listen, you can play with it. You can always scrub it out, remove it, and then you can add on to it, you know, change it up. I just rubbed off that masking fluid on those berries too. I don't know if you saw that. So right now I'm just going to play with the snow and just see what I want on it. That's all I'm doing, is what do I think, what do I need to add in, and I just finish up with final details. I'm finishing up with the final details at this point. I like the way it looks. I like the snow. So all I'm doing is adding some neutral. It looks black. And I'm adding that detail in. So this is done. Take a look at, like, there's flecks of salt right there in the background. That's because I sprinkled a little bit of salt. Listen, I enjoyed being with you today. I hope to see you the next time. Please subscribe if you're not already a member. I hope that you are doing well, and we will see you soon.